Last video, I laid out the idea of what limits are and how to find them. But admittedly, a lot of the material was a little abstract and, at first glance, didn't really seem to have too many real-life applications. So the main goal of this video will be to give you a more concrete example and to hopefully convince you that limits, and by extension calculus, are worth learning. In this video, I want to answer the question, when is your dad coming home? Intuitively, the solution may seem rather trivial at first glance, but as we'll see, the answer is actually quite surprising and, at the same time, also beautifully elegant. Let's suppose that your dad went to the grocery store with $3 to buy some milk. Before we do any math, let's visualize the problem using a graph where the x-axis represents distance, the y-axis represents time, and the origin represents your home. Now, some of you may have noticed that I've actually swapped the x-axis with the y-axis since time is typically represented horizontally. But we'll leave it as is for this problem because I am Asian and I make the rules. Then, our function simply becomes 3 over x, which looks like this. Since we want to find out when your dad will be coming home, we want to take the limit as the distance approaches 0. By tracing the graph as x approaches 0, you'll notice that y approaches infinity. So the limit of our function as x approaches 0 is simply infinity. In other words, your dad is never coming home. Now let's suppose that you've won the lottery. Your dad, upon hearing this news, will likely spend the $3 that he has, knowing that he'll be able to get a lot more from you once he gets home. Our function then changes from 3 over x to 0 over x, which simplifies to 0. Our graph is now simply a straight line running across the x-axis, meaning that regardless of where your dad is at the time you win the lottery, the time it takes him to get home is simply 0.